Hello fellow archers. You know how they say practice makes perfect? Well, this video is all about practice. And really at the end of the day, archery is just like any other sport. You're gonna get out what you put in, right? So if you shoot a lot, you're gonna wind up being pretty accurate. So when you go out to the TAC events, or when you're just in your local range, your local 3D course, or especially when a big buck's in front of you, you're gonna be more accurate than if you hadn't practiced. One of the things that I like to do as far as training aids go is I have this little trainer here, and I usually like to use a hinge in my off season for training. And basically what I'm trying to work on is rolling off. So you get to that full draw, and with the hinge, like my anchor, and you just rotate, and it goes off. Then when I get really comfortable with this, then I'll move to a thumb release where I will try to squeeze. Same thing. So this tool is really nice for trying to get your proper break release. So another important tip when you're trying to practice in the off season and get more accurate is a lot of times it's good to have a horizontal and vertical line so that you can make sure that you're consistent up and down. You can also use this when you're trying to sight in a bow too. As you get better, you're going to get really tight groups, and you might have a problem hitting arrows with multiple shots because your groupings are going to be so tight. So arrows are expensive, so it's good to be able to aim at the horizontal when you're trying to go up and down, and aim at the vertical when you're trying to make sure you're good left to right. So this is a really good practice tool. On top of using the shot release trainer, I also like to do what's called blank bailing. There's a lot of videos on that on the internet, but I just figured I'd add mine in. So basically a blank bail is going to be where we draw the bow back, we close our eyes, and then you're just basically squeezing the trigger. So make sure you're really close to the target on this. In this case, it's right in front of me. So you're gonna draw back, you close your eyes, and then you're just gonna work on your release point. Squeeze. That was a really good release. So that's a good way to make sure you're not punching the trigger and to get mentally there before you step back to 20 yards and shoot longer distances. And then just other than that, it's practice. So get into a range and get out to 20 yards in the off season, and then as you get into outdoor weathers, back it up, because distance is going to give you really the true test, right? That's where you're going to know if you're really getting better, because a lot of people can shoot a tight group from 20 yards. You back it out to like 60 to 100, you're really going to see some of the flaws in your technique. Personally, I've come a long way in my archery journey. It's kind of funny because the very first shot I ever took with the bow, using a buddy's bow, and same draw length and everything, I draw back and I shoot, and I'm like a foot left of the target. So I do the same again, right? I hit the exact same spot. It's funny because it was actually like a corn stalk, and it almost went through the same hole I made, but to the left, like a full foot left of the target. And my buddy was like, where were you looking? I was like, I was just looking at the sight. He's like, well, did you line up the peep? I was like, what peep? So to go from that point to where I'm at now, where I really try to hold, let's say a 10x on the radius. That's kind of my goal.